This is what we do. We sit around living rooms and barbershops, and then we get on the internet comparing stuff and judging which is best. We act like we base our judgment on facts or like it makes sense, but it's really just about our feelings. And yeah, we'll yell or type in all caps anyway, thinking it will help to prove our points. But as a rule, strong feelings about issues do not come from deep understanding. We base things like this on our own standards. For instance, who's the worst rapper? What's the best TV show? The greatest movie from the 80s? Even without me explaining how I came up with these answers, if my wife's standards are different than mine, and they are, she'll have different answers than me. And I won't be able to change her mind no matter how logical or persuasive I am. Besides, if she said the worst rapper ever was Chinky, she wouldn't be wrong. With that said, let's acknowledge now that MJ and LeBron are both great. To me, Michael Jordan is the GOAT. It's not easy to say that objectively, but for what it's worth, LeBron James is second. Here's how I came to that conclusion. MJ is the greatest basketball player ever to me because he is the best combination of influence, stats, numbers, game, individual accomplishments, and team success. Let me explain what I mean. I'm not saying he is the greatest at each individual category, but when you factor in all six, he definitely wins. This episode will flow more like a conversation because these debates need more context, nuance, details. We can't just look at raw numbers and abilities and draw conclusions. And all of this will not be done in an effort to convince you to choose one player over the other. No, this is to get you to choose, to not spew dumb, unfounded garbage out of your mouth when this kind of stuff comes up, man. I'm getting sidetracked, but other bad arguments include saying Jordan has more heart, determination, and will to win. It seems like it, but I don't know. I can't measure that. Those charts where it has scoring, rebounding, passing, and other stuff where you check off the attribute and whoever gets more checks is better? Yeah, that's stupid. I'll show you. Here's Steve Nash versus Shaq. Who has more boxes checked? Steve Nash. Who's the better player? Shaq! We all know this, despite what the checks say. Now, what we ain't gonna do is disrespect the era anybody has played in. Hey, 5, 10, 20 years from now, there will be a player who dominates the game, whether it's a veteran currently in the NBA or is a rookie. And you'll come at me as if this person is the greatest of all time. And I'm telling you, no basketball player will be better than these two. When MJ retired the first time, many people wondered who would be his heir apparent and take the mantle as the greatest basketball player in the world. There was Grant Hill and Anthony Hardaway, who suffered injuries early on that derailed their careers. Then, to some degree, Jerry Stackhouse and Vince Carter because they were high-flying wing players from North Carolina. Kobe actually mirrored MJ the most. He became an all-time great and flew to new heights. Many people believe he should be in this debate. After that came LeBron James, the chosen one. Now, the players I just named are just an example of the influence MJ had on the game. I mean, even LeBron wears number 23. LeBron James' influence is yet to be fully realized because he is still playing. With that said, he is currently the godfather of the NBA. Now, both MJ and LeBron were Rookies of the Year at one point. Both hosted Saturday Night Live. Both have been or will be on Space Jam. And that's where a lot of the commonalities stop. LeBron has 4 Most Valuable Player awards and has led the league in scoring once in 2008. However, once, when notified by the media that he was only a 10th of a point per game ahead of Durant for his second straight scoring title, LeBron said, if I really wanted to win a scoring title, I could win it every single year. Every single year, I could really do it, but it doesn't matter to me. I believe him. I do think he could almost be as great of a scorer as Mike. He's very efficient. He went on to lose out on the scoring title that year, but he boasts a career average of 27 points per game, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists. He's the only player ever to score 30,000 points and dish out 9,000 assists. He also has 9,000 rebounds, by the way. No one else is even close to these numbers. LeBron is so good that if we split him into 2 players, LeBron the forward and LeBron the point guard, both would be in the Hall of Fame. Numbers like LeBron's lead people to say that he's a better all-around player than Michael Jordan and actually carries his team. I don't think people know how great of an all-around talent MJ actually was. More on that later. Jordan has won NBA MVP 5 times. He owns the highest points per game average all time at 30.1 and has won the NBA scoring title a record 10 times. People primarily classify Jordan as just a scorer, but MJ led the league in steals 3 times. MJ is one of only 4 players to ever win MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in a career. He is the only guard to do so. He is also one of 2 players to win both in the same season. So in addition to being a supreme scorer, MJ locked up on D. He actually averages more blocks and steals per game than LeBron. With all of this in mind, LeBron may be a more versatile defender than MJ, being able to guard 3.5 positions on the floor, not 5. But does that make him a better defender? To give LeBron some credit, when every other great player's signature move is on offense, like MJ's fadeaway or his air reverse layup, LeBron's is on defense. His signature move is the chase down block. Now, the game was slowed down when MJ played. Hand checking was still a thing and the sport was more physical, but there was no zone defense either. Three-pointers weren't used as much. League points per game in '98 were 95.6 compared to 106.3 in 2018. Today, there's a faster pace, more shots, more points, better stats, more chances to get assists and rebounds. LeBron, like Mike, could have played in any era. LeBron is 6'8", 260 pounds. So saying LeBron James, who is the size of Malone and has the skill of Stockton, couldn't play in the 80s and 90s is negligent. Just like saying MJ would average 40 in today's game because it's more free-flowing. That's questionable. LeBron James is the most physically gifted athlete the world has ever seen, but athleticism doesn't matter in basketball as much as people want it to. So saying players weren't as athletic back in the day really doesn't matter. Larry Bird in the 80s won 3 straight MVPs, made 5 trips to the finals, winning 3 of them. He's a top 10 player all time. Probably the second best small forward ever behind LeBron, but couldn't run or jump. That's someone from an older era. Steph Curry in this era led the league in scoring twice, has 2 MVPs and won 3 championships while no one claims he's athletic. In this era, athleticism isn't as important as people are making it out to be. This shows that an attribute like shooting, or in Kyrie's case, his handles, or in Rodman's case, rebounds, covers more than one check. There's a distinction that needs to be made between talent and great. You can be talented without being great, just like you can be great without being overtly talented. With that said, is LeBron a more talented player than MJ? Sure. Does that make him better? Well, it's okay to say that LeBron might be the most talented player ever, but it doesn't mean he's the greatest. As I alluded to earlier, MJ was a much better all-around talent than current NBA fans give him credit for. In the 88-89 season, Jordan averaged 32.5 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists per game. He averaged 33.5 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists per game the next season. Again, he carried the team. The Bulls lost to the Pistons in the playoffs after both of those seasons. It got him nowhere. His individual stats and accomplishments didn't help the team reach its ultimate goal, the reason why they play the game, to win. We'll talk about team success, teammates, and competition stuffs next week. But before I close, Jordan is the better individual player, but the margin between these two is close. Jordan averages more points, but I'm sure LeBron could have if he wanted to. LeBron averages more assists and rebounds, but I'm sure MJ could have if he wanted to. Jordan averages more steals and blocks per game, and his Defensive Player of the Year award gives him the edge. Add that to Jordan having more first-team defenses despite playing less seasons. Jordan has more MVPs too. LeBron has more first-team All-NBAs and All-Star appearances, but again, he's played more seasons. Jordan has a better player efficiency rating, and LeBron has a better win share. But it don't mean a thing if it don't lead to a ring. I'll see you next week. We're gonna be all right.